Today's video is brought to you by Beautiful Halo. Thank you so much for sponsoring me, first of all. And if you guys would like some good quality anime merch, you can go to Beautiful Halo, link in the description below. And on your next $49 plus order, you can get 5% off with the code MEME. And if it's $99 plus, you can get 10% off with the same code MEME, M-I-M-E. Let's get right into the video. Welcome back, guys. This is the King of Weebs here, and this is what if Naruto was raised in Mount Myoboku. Yeah, this is a new what if, and this is something I wanted to do myself. It's something that I enjoyed myself, even though I'm pretty sure the kid, I don't know if he was a kid or not, but he sounded pretty, young. But yeah, I watched his what if, and yeah, so basically it was basically what if Naruto was raised in Mount Myoboku. It was like a 44-minute vid, but it never got continued, which kind of bummed me out because I really loved it. And this was way back, like a year or nearly 2 years before I started my channel, what if channel. And yeah, so I really want to see the series being continued, and so I might as well just do it myself because it hasn't been continuing at all. So I want to keep, give it some life and do it myself. I mean, you gotta take initiative sometimes in this world. This world just doesn't give you anything. It's cruel. It's a cruel world. And yeah, if you have noticed, sorry, not have been, if you have noticed, I have a new background on the video, and same with the sound spectrum picture changed, and it's Eren and Mikasa, and Eren and Mikasa ship, or death, literally death for Isayama. Attack on Titans, if they don't ship them together, like, it's coming to an end. I'm pretty sure next two chapters are going to be the end in season 4, but I'm trying to catch up, and it took me 3 days, and I'm on chapter 107. I watched the anime, I didn't read, so right now I'm currently like reading it, but still, yeah, I don't want to take too much of your time, and we'll get right into this. And if you haven't watched Attack on Titans, I suggest you do, because like, it's too sick, bro. It's actually amazing. I missed out. My friends have been telling me for 3 years to watch it. My friends in school, my friends outside, like Shokiro, Ratreet, like, they've been telling me for 2 whole years, maybe even 3 now. And yeah, I just missed out quite a bit. Same as My Hero Academia. Like, they told me, people were telling me 3 years ago to watch it, and it was just in 2020 that I actually, got into it. And yeah, and right now I'm on the manga. I'm loving everything about it. Yeah, so anywho, now we begin this what if with, I took 2 minutes of your time. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm not sure if you guys like me talking about my own, hobbies and likes. Anywho, likes and dislikes, you know what I mean. Anywho, now we begin this what if with Naruto actually being born. Of course, the same fate happens where Naruto actually, gets the Nine Tails, but it's there is something different with this. It's that the Nine Tails is actually sealed in 2 different people, one being Naruto himself, and the other being Naruto's not half brother thing, Naruto's twin brother. And of course, I'm implementing Manmo here, but it's not going to be one of those dark series, because of course, Jiraiya actually came back, since he heard about the news of his own student dying, protecting the village that Jiraiya was meant to protect himself as well. Of course, Jiraiya did absolutely nothing, and the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, his the student that he thought was the child of prophecy, has been annihilated by the Nine Tails, and saw 2 children. Of course, one of them was crying, which was actually Naruto, and the other one was just calm. And Jiraiya actually, picked up the one that was crying, and just saying, he actually arrived to the village after hearing this, and the one of them was just crying, which was Naruto, and Menmo was just there, just looking up. He's like, "Oh, what do you want, man? Like, can you fuck off?" Anyway, of course, now, sorry, I shouldn't swear, but it is what it is. Anywho, now Naruto, who of course, has been picked up by Jiraiya. Of course, Jiraiya looks at Naruto, and then Naruto actually looks at Jiraiya and stops crying straight away and starts smiling at Jiraiya. Of course, Jiraiya was moved by this, and he actually, after this, he actually saw the same smile that, Minato gave to him back in the days when he first became his student, and he can see that Naruto is basically the same as Minato, and he is the next child of prophecy. He believes it. He just feels it in his bones. He feels it in his veins. Like his whole body's telling him to actually adopt this kid and just train him yourself. Of course, there's Menma too, but Jiraiya can't take both the Jinchuriki, or that will thing enrage the village higher ups, because if both the tail beasts are gone and any village comes to find out, they're gone. They're getting attacked, they're getting destroyed, they're getting slaughtered, and boom, easy coup d'etat and everything. Not coup d'etat, but still, anywho, now Naruto, of course, Jiraiya actually goes to the Hokage, and a few weeks pass, and Naruto in the end was actually after a struggle, a struggle of laws, basically, Jiraiya was actually, given only Naruto, even though Jiraiya had the scroll saying that he is the godfather of both Jinchuriki, both of the, newborns, he has all the rights to actually take both of them, but of course, here Naruto actually, Danzo and the elders actually changed the facts and everything, and they were actually able to stop for Jiraiya from adopting both the children and just taking one. And of course, that was Naruto, because he wanted to train Naruto, especially because he saw potential in him. And so Naruto was adopted, but not adopted. Naruto was taken by Jiraiya, and Jiraiya of course takes him to Mount Myoboku straight away. Of course, here everything changes. It's not just like Naruto, not being in the village and coming back out of nowhere. Like here, Naruto is literally a ninja of his own. He's like a toad, basically. Naruto will be raised by the toads of Mount Myoboku, and he will learn all sorts of techniques from them. But of course, now Jiraiya spends the first 4 years actually, training with Naruto here, and here Naruto actually experienced love. It wasn't like in the original way. He's never experienced love in his life, and love was something new to him. He experienced love from all the toads in Mount Myoboku, and same as Jiraiya. Of course, Menma actually went through not the same fate as Naruto. He actually was loved in the village because Menma was like a prodigy. Everyone just loved him. He just had the charm. You know what I mean? He was like the fated one to be liked, like Naruto, of course. Naruto, of course, would have been hated there because Naruto would have been the pest. But here, Naruto's getting disciplined by the elder toads. Even the freaking great sage toad thing, yeah, that old one that trained the Sage of Six Paths actually came to like Naruto, and he's like, this one, you Jiraiya, I can see this one has potential. This one could be the one. He could be the fated one. And basically, of course, Jiraiya's like, that's exactly why I picked him. And of course, that was when Naruto was like 2 years old, and Naruto didn't really understand any of these words that they were speaking, like fated one. Like, what does that mean? Like, he's never heard that word in his life. And basically, now Naruto, of course, asks Jiraiya, but Jiraiya just says, it means you're special, Naruto. And Naruto was really happy that, he was special. And so, of course, now after this, Jiraiya, of course, went through a bit of trouble training Naruto, especially because Naruto actually wasn't as good as Menma. He did hear things about Menma, how he was extremely good at chakra control and everything, but he didn't give up hope. He believed that Naruto was the better one out of the two. He's not trying to do any favoritism or anything, but he believes his heart is telling him that Naruto is the fated one. Naruto is the one that Jiraiya should be training, and so he's actually doing it, and he's not giving up hope. Of course, Naruto at first, it was really slow, but after the age of 4, Naruto actually got like a catalyst. Of course, seeing all the toads one day just meditating, Naruto actually joins them without even telling Jiraiya or anything. He was just out there actually taking his break, and he just joins them, and I don't know, they actually just Naruto just starts getting good chakra control for some reason, and that is because Naruto actually, just by watching them, it's something like a bit more like Goku, like how Master Roshi did the Kamehameha the first time. Goku just copied him afterwards and just did that. No, it's a bit like that. You know how ducklings, like you, my ducklings, and but when ducklings hatch, they see someone and they think that's their mother. Of course, Naruto just saw it and he's like, oh yeah, that's cool. Let me try that thing. Yeah. So of course Naruto tries it, and yeah, after this, now Naruto, who has been training, just meditating for an hour, and Jiraiya came to search for him, and yeah, now of course Jiraiya actually asked him what's he doing, and basically Naruto's like, I'm meditating, and Jiraiya's like, Naruto, how long have you been doing this? And basically Naruto's like an hour or so, and yeah, then Jiraiya's like, did you really spend your time doing something you don't even know how to do? And Naruto's like, I do know how to do it, look. And basically then Naruto actually showed a bit of, a better chakra control than their actual training, and he was confused on how. And basically Naruto's like, well, I just copied like great boss Gamabunta, and basically of course Naruto's still a kid, and he respects all the toads, and yeah, it was actually Gamabunta and he's the other two toads, I think the red one, no, not the red one, the purple one and the blue one. I don't know the names, so I'm sorry guys, I should have made a bit more research about them, but really they're not really that important here. Okay, maybe they are, but still. Anywho, now after this, Jiraiya was ecstatic about Naruto and realized that Naruto has this his own type of learning ability that he himself just has to watch and just learn. It's like how the saying goes, watch and learn. Yeah, that saying is happening right there and now. And yeah, of course Naruto's just watching and learning. And yeah, after this, Jiraiya actually now starts training Naruto himself. I was like, okay, Naruto, we will begin by with taijutsu training, and basically now of course now Naruto now Naruto actually spends the next 2 years just on taijutsu training, but then Naruto actually gets bored of it because he's literally a taijutsu master by now. Anywho, of course, Jiraiya now actually begins training Naruto in jutsus. For example, first of all, he needs to find out what nature chakra nature he has, not nature chakra. Anywho, of course, Jiraiya doesn't really have the papers with him on him or so. Jiraiya actually begins with basic, chakra nature control. Chakra nature drills, for example, doing basic jutsus that anyone can do just with a bit of a chakra. If you have the minimum amount of chakra control, you should be able to do these. For example, like the water. Sorry, 1 second. Something like the water wall, something, no, maybe not the water wall, but just spurt out, like maybe spit out water, not spit out, like you know what I mean. I can't really explain it myself, to be honest. Like, I'm kind of dumb anyway, even though I love English. Like, I'm not even good at English, but I love it. Yeah, that's something that happens with people like me. I love English, but I'm bad at it. Anywho, now of course, Naruto doesn't give up. The first time he tries, he can't get the water one correct, but then he actually tries the wind, and then goes off to fire, and then goes off to lightning, and then earth. Jiraiya finds out that Naruto has an affinity for wind, but he showed a little bit of progress, not progress, a little bit of talent in the fire too, something that Jiraiya has himself, and also lightning. Of course, Naruto didn't show anything on water for some reason, even though his mother had it, and also he didn't show any for earth release, and so Jiraiya was kind of bummed out because he doesn't really have lightning release. But of course Naruto will have to learn from scrolls that Jiraiya himself will get for Naruto. Anywho, now Naruto continues his training with Jiraiya, and Jiraiya teaches him stuff like the fireball jutsu, and also Naruto over this time he has been training himself, meditation, something that not many people do when they're training here. Well, of course they would do it because in Myoboku you only go to Myoboku because you're kind of training for Sage Mode. But still, Naruto's only 5 right now, and basically after this, Naruto actually, Jiraiya actually decides to teach Naruto a technique called the Rasengan, And after teaching Naruto the Rasengan, of course, then Naruto actually has to train on his own because Jiraiya has other things to do. For example, missions outside, Mount Myoboku, especially because of his, you know, uh, things like the spy network that he owns and that he has and everything. Anywho, now Naruto, of course, Naruto, sorry, Naruto actually learns the Rasengan here in a few months actually instead of a week, because you remember Naruto was not in a rush, and this is a 5-year-old Naruto. Of course, then Jiraiya actually tells Naruto that the Rasengan is not it's not a complete jutsu, and so he has to complete it himself. And over time, Naruto, of course, keeps trying to, and of course, the Toads actually teach Naruto chakra transformation and chakra, the more chakra natures. And Jiraiya actually returns to Naruto after 4 years. Naruto is now 9. He sure began the academy, but of course Naruto really doesn't need to. And Naruto actually, you know, mastered multiple like techniques. For example, the toad oil jutsu, and also something that Jiraiya doesn't know about. Jiraiya's left in the dark about this, but Naruto has been starting. Yeah, I mean, Naruto has started training in something called Sage Mode. I'm pretty sure we all know what that is, but it is what it is. Anywho, after this, Naruto, of course, starts training. Oh, I mean, no, sorry. Naruto just started training in Sage Mode. Of course, he hasn't mastered or anything like that, but still, he's actually really, prominent, and they actually think that Naruto will, be able to master it. Well, the Toads actually think that Naruto can, because Naruto has improved a lot, especially because Naruto has, this is the first time training, and he's shown a lot of progress, especially compared to someone like Jiraiya. Jiraiya never showed this much progress, and yeah. Anywho, after this, Naruto, of course, keeps training with it, trying to master the, Rasen Shuriken that he has actually thought up of. But of course, Naruto doesn't get anywhere and accidentally adds, his lightning release and actually throws it because he got really frustrated. And this was his normal style Rasengan. And then he disappeared, which the Toads actually, realized. So basically, Naruto was a bit impatient, just like Boruto was at the beginning of the series. And yeah, of course, the Toad realized, but Naruto didn't. But the Toad actually, Lord Fukasaki, who was actually taking care of Naruto's training, actually decided to tell Naruto because he doesn't want to keep Naruto in the dark. Like, Naruto deserves to know this information. Like, he is literally a prodigy, basically. Well, according to from what they've seen, they think that Naruto is a prodigy, but it's not true. Naruto is just a really hard worker and a fast learner. Like, have you seen like the pace Naruto learns is just too high. Anywho, of course, Naruto knows the Shadow Clone Jutsu and everything, stuff like that. Basics that Naruto knew in the original series. But yeah, Naruto also knows the Fireball Jutsu, the Great Fireball. Also, the Toad Oil Jutsu, and he knows Earth style Earth Shockwave, also Water Shockwave, and he also knows the mud. Is that really mud release? I'd say he not mud release, but you know what I mean. Naruto has the mud wall, the earth wall, the great earth wall, the colossal earth wall. Yes, Naruto has made that one up, and that is something that I made up from the colossal titan from AOT. Of course, Armin got that, the colossal titan that Armin got by eating. I don't want to spoil it. Now, Naruto, of course, keeps training, and Jiraiya comes back on Naruto's 9 on his birthday, and he brings him a gift. Naruto actually gets a few scrolls from Jiraiya, and then Jiraiya, of course, celebrates, with the Toads, and Jiraiya actually decides to take him to, where he was born, something that Naruto never knew. Naruto didn't know that he was born somewhere else. He always thought that he was like born in Mount Myoboku, and of course Jiraiya never told Naruto about his true origins. Like, no, first of all, he wouldn't tell him about something like Minato, some stuff like that, because those are S-rank secrets. But he's never told Naruto where he actually comes from, where his true village is. Naruto always thought he was like part of the Toad, Mount Myoboku, but still, of course, Naruto's part of the Leaf Village, and the Leaf Village will want Naruto back one of these days. But of course, Naruto doesn't want to go, and so Jiraiya tells him that he has to. He has to see how his village is doing, and maybe he can actually meet his brother. And this is something that Naruto knows about. Of course, Naruto never knew about the Leaf Village, but he knew that he had a brother because Jiraiya can't keep him in the dark forever, like not telling him about his brother. That's kind of mad in that. But so he never told him about Menma, but still Naruto, of course, knew about. Well, sorry, he did tell him about Menma. Sorry, I accidentally said that he never told him about Menma. But what I meant is that he told him about Menma, but not about that one day he'll have to go to this village and stay there for pretty much the rest of his life, because Mount Myoboku is not a place where someone like Naruto can stay for the remainder of his life, which is a pretty long time. That's a few decades. Anyhow, now Naruto, of course, decides to go with Jiraiya, but Naruto is actually basically an imperfect sage. Naruto knows how to use sage chakra, but of course he can't use it perfectly like in the original. That's something that will come on to Naruto later, like later in the story. He can't. Naruto cannot master it now. His body cannot handle the actual sage mode that Naruto actually mastered before during the pain arc, and that sage mode just, it's not for Naruto's body. Of course, Naruto goes to the village, and here Naruto actually bumps into a few people. For example, the Hokage. The Hokage greets Naruto, and Naruto's like, "Wait, what? Who are you?" And of course, Jiraiya explains everything. Jiraiya explains that Hiruzen was his sensei, and his the leader of the village, and also he explains that he is the person who's training his not older brother, his twin brother. And of course, Naruto was really surprised, and apparently currently, if I were to make an estimate, Menma is stronger than Naruto right now, but it's not for long, because Naruto hasn't really been training anything else other than like maybe the Rasengan. His taijutsu is better than Menma's, that's for sure. Yes, taijutsu is better than Menma, but in jutsu, Menma is way stronger. Menma has all 5 chakra natures right now, and he actually knows how to control 4 tails of his transformation, which is pretty overpowered. But of course, Naruto gets stronger over time. And if anyone's wondering about the ship, this ship is completely different from any other ship that I'm going to do. It's not going to be like Sukome, Saki, but it's gonna be a Suki ship, but completely different. Suki was a village, she was part of the Leaf Village, and she was one of the few kids that Itachi was about to spare. But of course, once the Uchiha massacre was actually, going on, she actually came back home to see Obito with the red robes killing her mother, and basically Itachi did tell Obito that he has to spare an Uchiha girl called Tsuki, and of course his younger brother Sasuke. But of course, after this, after Tsuki actually walked in, Obito asks, "What's your name, kid?" And basically Tsuki, out of fear, she's like, "It's Tsuki. What are you doing with my mother?" And basically then Itachi explains that her mom is dead, he killed her. And yeah, anywho, of course, after this, Tsuki was completely pissed off, and she actually went on a rampage and tried to hit Obito. And the Obito's like, interesting, you're pretty strong for a kid your age. And then basically Tsuki is like, just why are you doing this? And basically then he says, none of your business. And basically then she's like, your clothes are weird, what kind of organization are you from? And just saying, Tsuki is actually a prodigy, like she is OP as hell. And she even at the age of 8, she was about to graduate already, because she knew the Shadow Clone Jutsu. And Tsuki never had she didn't, she was just a generational genius, like Minato and them lot, you know what I mean. Anywho, after this Tsuki, anywho, of course, Obito says, I'm part of the Akatsuki. But anywho, I gotta go. And then faints Tsuki and just leaves. Of course, Suki, after waking up, she sees all the massacre, and she couldn't really find any survivors, and so she actually decided to leave the village because she actually wanted to get stronger, and she knew that this village wasn't going to get her anyway, and so she decided that she was going to get stronger on her own. She will get revenge, and yeah, she's driven by revenge. And just saying, she already had the 3-to-1 Sharingan by now, and she unlocked the Mangekyo, but of course she didn't know about it, and of course she's not aware of it, and so nothing happened with her Mangekyo or anything. But yeah, Naruto, of course, meets Menma, and Menma actually gave off an aura of, that you have to fear him, and basically Naruto respects Menma for being super strong, and basically, of course, Menma respects Naruto for not being as strong, but of course, being pretty strong, and he just greets him, but he doesn't treat him as a brother. He treats him more as a liability right now, because you can see that Naruto is way weaker than him, and he doesn't like that, and he tells Naruto that he has to get stronger if he wants to, uh, be someone or something, or just instead of dying in the battlefield like a random shinobi, which won't do anything. You won't help out any cause of this world or anything. And so after this, Naruto kind of got, bummed out, but it is what it is. Then he just wants to leave, and Jiraiya says, no, Naruto, I believe you should stay in this village. And basically Naruto's like, no, I'm going back to Mount Myoboku, my real home. And basically, as he says that, he just reverse summoning jutsus himself. And basically Jiraiya was confused on how Naruto knew this, because Jiraiya doesn't know all the things that Naruto learned. And remember, Jiraiya isn't the best of fathers, but of course Naruto still loves him with everything that he has, and he respects Jiraiya. But of course Jiraiya truly doesn't know Naruto's true strength. Of course Naruto spends the next few years actually, until he's 12 years old, he spends it just training his body up, and he trains so hard that he already has the Rasen Shuriken, and he has, the body. He actually knows how to use body flicker. Also, he knows multiple sage arts, and basically, of course, he's pretty freaking OP right now. Naruto, you could say he's actually already an S-rank shinobi, especially because Naruto has learned multiple techniques. For example, also, not only does he know, a imperfect sage mode, but you could say Naruto has kind of mastered it, because he can stay in perfect sage mode for a bit, but then it just goes into, his imperfect one. But it is what it is. Anywho, now Naruto, of course, being 12 years old, actually wants to explore this world. He wants to see what's in it, and he wants to experience how it is to have friends, because Naruto never really had any friends. He's never experienced like friendship. So that's something that he doesn't know. Okay, maybe Gamabunta and the Toads, but he thinks of them more as a family instead of friends, and so he wants to find out what it means to have friends, and so he goes on a journey. Of course Jiraiya allows it. He's there, alright Naruto, I trust you because you're pretty strong. You're pretty much the strongest person, strongest 12-year-old I've ever seen. And of course Jiraiya has taught Naruto multiple things too. Jiraiya has bonded with Naruto a lot, and Naruto pretty much can stay in perfect sage mode for only 4 minutes right now. But of course once he's older, he can stay in it for pretty much the whole entire time of the fight. But it is what it is. Anyway, Naruto doesn't resort to going into sage mode unless it's a life or death situation. And now I will be covering a few jutsus that Naruto has learned. Naruto has learned jutsus like the Majestic Destroyer Flame, something that he never really learned from Jiraiya or any of the Toads, but he came up on his own. But of course Jiraiya says, Naruto, you're a genius. You learned this jutsu, which is super strong, that only some Uchihas can use. And of course Naruto's I don't understand, what do you mean by that? And basically, of course, Jiraiya goes on to explain that this technique isn't something everyone can learn easily, but Naruto actually just as a 10-year-old, yes, Naruto learned it 2 years ago, as a 10-year-old knew it, but still now Naruto has other techniques. For example, the summoning jutsu. Also, he knows the Todoyo jutsu, which actually increases the heat and the power of his fire techniques. And also he knows the wind release jutsus, for example the wind style, wind hurricane, and other things like those kind of things, other things like them, you know what I mean. Anywho, now of course, Naruto, who is on his own journey now, of course, meets different kind of people. And just saying, this is 6 months before, you know, the graduation. And yeah, 6 months, Naruto spends the next 6 months just traveling on his own. And yeah, anywho, now Naruto, who of course needs to train himself as well. Of course, he creates the next Rasengan that he wants to, use in battle. He actually creates a vanishing Rasen Shuriken, something that no one actually knows about Naruto. And Naruto knows different types of sealing jutsus. He actually learned the Reaper Death Seal already. Naruto might use it, you never know, but still, Naruto has learned different things, especially OP things, and also he's a seal master. And a technique that he has learned on his own is the Flying Raijin. Remember, Naruto's not a generational genius, but his mind is better than others, and his imagination is like pretty freaking OP, especially because his imagination gave him the ability to actually think up the Flying Raijin himself, just like the fourth did. But of course, Jiraiya then told Naruto that this technique already exists. I don't know how you're coming up with these techniques, but they already exist, and you're a genius, Naruto. I can help you learn it. And basically, of course, Naruto knows the Flying Raijin, which is actually an S rank technique. I'm pretty sure there's no way it's an A or any other lower than S rank. I don't believe it. That's BS. Anywho, now Naruto has actually arrived in the land of waves, somewhere that he wanted to visit himself anyway, because he just wants to learn more things from different people. It can be from anyone, to be honest. He doesn't really care, as long as they know things that he doesn't, it's fine by him. But anywho, now of course, Naruto meets Haku here. Yes, that's ironic, because of course, so every time I make him meet Haku. But anywho, Naruto, of course, at first he thought Haku was an enemy, so he actually began a fight against Haku. And of course, the fight wasn't going to be easy, especially because Haku is pretty much an S-rank shinobi himself, to be honest. Like, let's be real, Haku should have been way stronger than what he was. Like, if you gave him a few more years of training, and if Haku just had the experience, it could have been an easy win for Haku and Zabuza. But of course, Haku didn't have the experience, even though, you could say that, Sasuke and Naruto didn't have any experience at all in the ninja world. But still, think about it, Haku did just verse a tail beast, Jinchuriki, but you know what I mean. Anywho, now, of course, the fight goes on for a few minutes until Naruto realizes that Haku is more on the defensive, and so he actually gives up and gives him the win and says, "I'm sorry. I thought you were an enemy. I guess you're not. You're not even attacking me." Anywho, after this, Naruto just drops all of his weapons, and Haku realizes that Haku realizes that Naruto is not a threat either, and so he asks why why are you alone? You're such a young kid, and you don't even have a headband, and you're so strong. I don't understand, what kind of training did you go through? And Naruto says, "Well, you see, I shouldn't be telling strangers this, so I'm sorry, I can't give you any information about it." Anywho, Haku says that, and then says, "Fair enough." And of course, Naruto and Haku start talking, and Haku does still give him the same speech, about if you have a special one, you will always want to protect them, and you will always get stronger. And Naruto says, "Well, I do have a few special ones, and I guess they do always help me get stronger. So yeah, you're right." And basically after this, Haku talks about how he has a special one too, but his special one doesn't really take him seriously or anything like that. But of course, Naruto then says he's probably just embarrassed, or she, I don't know who you're talking about, to be honest. And basically Haku then says it's fine. And then after this, Haku just asks if he wants to come back and meet him. And basically Naruto then says, this could either be a really elaborate kidnapping, or this could just be a really nice gesture. And basically then Naruto actually gives him the benefit of the doubt, and so he actually goes with him. Of course, Naruto is more than prepared enough, because Naruto hasn't showed anything to Haku. Like, Naruto is so much stronger than Haku right now that it's not even funny, bro. Like, Haku would stand no chance against Naruto's true strength. And so, of course, Naruto actually, trusts Haku and goes with him. Naruto then actually meets, Zabuza and says, Zabuza, one of the 7 ninja swordsmen. And basically, of course, Zabuza then says, I must be famous then. And of course, Zabuza doesn't really like Naruto right now, but then, challenges Naruto after, Haku said that Naruto is so strong that he actually, kept up with, Haku. But Naruto then, was kind of like, oh, god damn it, Haku doesn't really know much strength. And basically, of course, Naruto took this opportunity to actually show Haku what he's truly capable of. But yeah, anywho, Naruto, after this, Naruto actually accepts the challenge that Zabuza, gave him. And yeah, anywho, after this, they actually begin their fight. And the fight goes a bit different from Haku's one. It goes a lot different, to be honest. Anywho, the fight began with, Zabuza, jumping, like, not jumping, like, of course, rushing Naruto, like, the freaking beast he is. Of course, Naruto wasn't too scared and just teleported away, and Zabuza was completely baffled on what just happened. And something he didn't notice is that Naruto threw a kunai right at the beginning of the fight as soon as Zabuza started coming towards him, and he didn't even notice it. That's how fast Naruto did it. And the kunai was actually over him, so it was actually spinning around. The Naruto, teleported over him and literally kicked him in the back of the head. Zabuza kind of fell onto the ground, and of course, then he stood up. He's like, "What the hell? That was pretty fast, kid. I rate you." And basically, as he says that, Naruto then says, "You shouldn't talk in a fight, or you might get killed before you can finish your sentence." And basically, Naruto already has a kunai to Zabuza's neck, but then Zabuza actually lets his bloodlust, which actually blows Naruto back. Naruto doesn't have too much bloodlust yet, because Naruto has never been in any kind of situations, but of course his presence is pretty freaking strong. Anywho, Naruto then looks at Zabuza says that this bloodlust doesn't really affect me. I'm not that weak, And as he says that, he teleports behind Zabuza. Something that he did, he actually left the seal on Zabuza as he kicked him on the back of the head. And now Naruto's behind him and he's already about to kill him, but then actually stops with a kunai to Zabuza's neck. Zabuza's on the ground. Naruto actually was able to get, Zabuza's sword out of the way, and so Zabuza couldn't really use the sword. And anywho, after this, Naruto actually began talking to Haku, asking him to actually tell him how he uses ice release. And basically, of course, Haku then says, "It's actually a Kekkei of mine. Can't really give it to you or anything." But then Naruto then says, "But your Kekkei, what kind of natures, chakra natures do you combine?" And basically, then Haku says, "Wind and water. Why?" And basically, Naruto's like, I'll see. Anywho, I'll be going now. It's been nice being friends with you, and I hope we meet again one day." And as he says that, Naruto then disappears, and Naruto's actually gone from there because he doesn't want to take too much of their time. He knows that they have missions to do of their own, and he knows that Zabuza is a rogue shinobi, and of course he doesn't want to really be seen with him. It's not that he doesn't like Zabuza. He actually really enjoys being with Zabuza. He can see that Zabuza has a strong will, and he likes people like that. And so he actually wouldn't have minded staying with Zabuza and Haku for a bit longer. But yeah, anywho, Naruto has things to do. He needs to travel. And yeah, anywho, now after this, Naruto, who actually continued his journey, and just saying, he's only been with Zabuza and Haku for like a day, no more than that. But yeah, now Naruto, who actually left Zabuza and Haku, actually now decided to continue his journey into forests. So he would be he's in a forest now, which Naruto's in a forest now, which he actually bumps into someone who he's never met. But as they were actually jumping from tree to tree, they both clashed. They both got their kunais out and they clashed, and of course they both went different ways, and Naruto didn't really understand who that was. But of course it was Suki who actually realized that this one was actually able to counter her swift attack. She was actually trying to kill Naruto right there, but of course Naruto was able to withstand that swift attack, and basically she actually realized that this one must be pretty strong, and so she actually decides to escape. Of course, Naruto wasn't going to allow that to happen, because Naruto is pretty vexed. Why would you attack me when you're not even going to fight me? Anywho, after this, Naruto of course goes off on his own, and yeah, he not goes off on his own, he actually searches for this person who attacked him and follows them. Of course, he actually finds out who it was, and they sorry sorry he finds out who it was, and he actually attacks her. It was a girl, pretty much his height, but of course Naruto takes control and basically puts her down to the ground and literally tells her to stop and tell him why did she attack him. And basically Tsuki just looks at him with an apathetic look, saying, "No reason. I thought you were an enemy, but when I realized you're not, I just ran." And of course then Naruto says, "Something must have happened to you. Oh well, I'll see you." And basically, as he was about to leave, of course, he looks back one more time and asks, "What village is she from?" Because he doesn't see any headband or anything. And basically, she's there, "None. No village." And Naruto's like, "There's no way you can't be from a village and be this strong. I can feel your true strength. You may even put a good fight up against me." And as he says that, of course, Tsuki just smiles and says, "I'll take that as a compliment. Now I gotta go." And as she says that, Naruto just stops her, grabs her arm and says, "Tell me what village you're from or I'll kill you." And basically, then Tsuki says, "I left my village. You could say I'm a rogue ninja now." Oh well, I wasn't really a ninja in my village. I pretty much left before I could even graduate. I was pretty much in the first year of the academy in the Leaf Village. And as she says that, Naruto then says, "Interesting. So you're from the same village that I was meant to be from." And basically Tsuki's like, "What do you mean meant to be? What? That doesn't make sense." And Naruto then says, "Oh well, apparently I was born there, but according to myself, I don't like it. I don't like the village. They gave me looks which I do not like, and yeah, so I don't really like being there." And as he says that, Naruto was about to leave, and of course Tsuki's like, "Oh yeah, I see. So you're basically like me." And as she says that, Naruto then says, "What do you mean like you?" And Tsuki says, "It's fine, I'm going now." And as she was going away, Naruto kind of was, curious about Tsuki. Why did she leave? He wants to know. He wants to know a bit more, and so he makes a clone which follows Tsuki. Of course, this clone is not strong, and Tsuki actually realizes a few minutes later and dispatches it easily. And Naruto realizes what happened, and he's like, "Damn, she has no chill." Anywho, of course, after this, Naruto is actually really interested in Tsuki, and plus he kind of had a little interest in her because she did look a bit nice, but still. Anywho, now Naruto actually, and just saying, Tsuki dyed her hair white, and just to actually, get rid of the Uchiha, little mark, not mark, like, if she has black hair, that will only remind her of her being an Uchiha and being part of the village, because the Uchiha clan is part of the Leaf Village. Well, was part of the Leaf Village until he got eradicated by, the Akatsuki member that she wants to kill herself. Anywho, of course, now Naruto actually follows Tsuki because he actually can track her down with his, sensory abilities, and so he does. And yeah, now Naruto's following Tsuki, and of course, Suki, of course, is actually trying to kill every single Akatsuki member because she has made a lot of research about them, and she found out that there are multiple members in the Akatsuki. This kind of pissed her off, and she said, "No, I'm not having it. I'm going to kill every single one of the members of the Akatsuki. If they're working with him, I don't care. I will kill them. I will finish them." And of course, she does know that Itachi was part of the Uchiha massacre, and she wants to annihilate him too. And so, yes, Tsuki was actually heading towards one of the fights that she was going to, do, because she actually found out something about the Akatsuki members, and she's like, "Yeah, I want to kill them." And so now Naruto, of course, sorry, 1 second. Anywho, Naruto didn't know about the Akatsuki, and so he didn't want to get into this fight because he doesn't want to really interfere with with Suki, and so he just stays out of it. But then Suki actually begins the fight against Kakuzu and Hidan. Yes, Kakuzu and Hidan were the ones that she actually wanted to kill first, and of course Kakuzu is one of the strongest members of the Akatsuki, so this was a mistake by Tsuki. Tsuki is nowhere strong enough to even put up a fight against Kakuzu right now, but yeah, she wants to end him and because that was she actually sued these two Akatsuki members, and she's been following them for a week or so, and for what she's seen, they haven't really been using too many jutsus, and she actually estimated that they were weak. Estimated, but she thought that they were weak, and so she just wanted to get them out as quick as possible, just to uh, give troubles to the Akatsuki. Of course, Suki begins to fight, and Naruto just watches the slaughter going on. Suki gets annihilated, and she was actually about to get killed straight away. Of course, Kakuzu and Hidan just took couldn't be asked, and so they were about to leave after killing her. But as Hidan was about to take the last slice, and just saying, Hidan never even got any blood from Tsuki. It was just Kakuzu fighting Tsuki, because Tsuki actually went up against Kakuzu first. But then Hidan's like, let me finish this off. And while she was on the ground, about to faint, Naruto comes in, and of course she sees the figure of Naruto, a blonde boy, and she's like, who is that? And as she says that, of course, she goes into deep sleep, faints, and Naruto, of course, that was Tsuki's perspective, but from Naruto's perspective, the fight kept going. Naruto was able to, blow back Hidan's, scythe, and Hidan kind of went flying, and then Naruto's like, going anywhere near her. And as he says that, he actually blitzes Kakuzu and kicks him in the chest. Kakuzu didn't even see Naruto. That's how fast Naruto was. And then Naruto already has a seal on Kakuzu. But unfortunately, Naruto wasn't fast enough to actually put a a contract seal on Kakuzu and Hidan. And so all he could put was a one-time seal, which would end pretty quick. As soon as once he uses it once, it just disappears. Naruto uses it and smashes a Rasengan at Kakuzu, because all he wants to do, he doesn't truly know Kakuzu's potential or strength, and so all he does is that he blows him back a bit and just runs off, because he doesn't really want to fight right now. But then Naruto looks at Tsuki and asks himself, why am I doing this? Just why I don't understand. And as he says that, of course, Tsuki, in her deep coma, she's like, who was that? I don't understand. Who would give their life up for me? And because, of course, she thought that they died. Well, Naruto died, because remember, it's Kakuzu and Hidan. They're pretty freaking strong members of the Akatsuki. From what she's seen now, Kakuzu and Hidan kind of annihilated her, and so she was asking why would someone even try to help her? Like, she was naive enough to attack them in the first place. That was just stupid. But of course, Naruto only did it because not only did he find Tsuki attractive, but of course he felt that his body moved on his own. He doesn't understand why, but it just moved. Naruto moved on his own without even thinking about it, and just saved Tsuki, and then escaped as fast as possible. But it is what it is. Anywho, now Tsuki wakes up 3 days later, and just saying, this all happened within 4 days, like literally 4 days, and so there are still 6 months to go until Team 7 and all the teams are actually made or anything. But yeah, anywho, Naruto, of course, then says, finally woke up, and Naruto, with his own money, the money that he actually saved up, of course, Jiraiya gave him a ton of money, to be honest, not like too much to make him a millionaire or something, but a lot of money, like, I mean, a lot. Anywho, he gave him enough to actually buy a hotel, himself a hotel room, or enough to actually, buy himself a small cottage and start living there for a bit. But of course, Naruto buys himself a cottage. Of course, that is somewhere secluded. It was actually really cheap, but it was actually a really clean place for such cheap, innit? But it is what it is. Anywho, Naruto, of course, then looks at Tsuki and says, finally woke up, huh? And Tsuki's like, why would you risk your life for me? And as Tsuki says that, Naruto then explains that, I really don't know. I mean, it's not even that I find, I'm not trying, I find you attractive, but it's not even that. My body just moved. Once I saw you about to die against them, I just couldn't stop my body. It just moved on its own. I'm sorry if you didn't like that, but it just happened to be like this. And of course, Tsuki's like, it's fine, don't worry, it's all good, as long as you are fine with it. And yeah, of course, Naruto is fine with saving someone like Suki. Like, she did nothing wrong or anything. But yeah, of course Naruto still doesn't understand why his body moved like that. But of course it just did. Anywho, Suki and Naruto, the next week, Suki actually lost the ability to, the walk properly because of the amount of bones she broke. But of course Naruto didn't hesitate to help Suki, and so, he helped out Suki in every possible way. But it is what it is. Anywho, now, of course, Naruto, who has been with Tsuki for a while now. Of course, he's just been, talking to her for the past week, and yeah, of course, Tsuki was actually pretty happy to, bond with Naruto. It's the first person that she's ever bonded with. But anywho, Naruto and Tsuki actually start talking to each other, and well, not start talking to each other, like, they actually start getting used to each other, and it's been like a week or two since they lived together, and they actually Tsuki actually, gained the ability to walk again, and Naruto has been helping her this whole time. He didn't care if, Tsuki at first, she didn't really like him or anything. Naruto liked her, and he thinks it's one-sided. That's why he doesn't want to tell her. But of course, Tsuki actually got, some feelings for Naruto too. After all, he is the one who saved her. But it is what it is. Now, of course, Naruto on his own, just training on his own while Tsuki's actually sleeping. Tsuki actually wakes up from a nightmare, the night that she actually dreamed about, the night, her mother got killed, and she was completely baffled on why this would happen now. But of course, she has to get over it, and she realizes that now she's alone. The only person that, she can trust in is herself. But of course, that's not true. Of course, as she thinks that, then Naruto comes into her mind, and she's completely baffled on why, out of all people, it was Naruto. But then she realized that she must like Naruto, since, Naruto is the one who saved her ass and everything. But yeah, of course, now Tsuki thinks about it, and she can't really come to a conclusion. But is what it is. Now Naruto, of course, who finished his training, of course, now he's just there. Now, I'm sorry. Now that he's done training, he's just standing there, looking at the sky. After all, it was a pretty nice night, and he was just looking at the stars. Well, then Tsuki actually came out of nowhere. She sat next to him, and just saying, if it was 6 months before, I'll say that the graduation was like around December. No, I'm joking. I'll say that it was around February, and a month later, around like March. Yeah, March. So it would be like how many months? April. Let me make it April. Yeah, April's the 4th month. So yeah, it was a pretty cold night, and Naruto told Tsuki to go back to sleep. It's cold. She might get a cold, and now, of course, Tsuki doesn't listen and just says, no, it's fine, as long as I'm with you. And basically, as she says that, of course, Naruto's like, wait, what? And Tsuki's like, oh, no, nothing. But anywho, after this, a month passes, and Tsuki regains the ability to, fully fight again. And so, now, Suki really wanted to stay with Naruto, but then realized that she's just been a burden. She really has done nothing for Naruto, and so she says sorry, and she tells him that she will be leaving tonight. And basically Naruto's like, but why? And as she says that, she's like, I'm sorry, I've just been a burden, so I just have to go. And she packs her stuff. Naruto just watches her packing stuff, and basically now she's about to leave. And just saying, Naruto did buy her clothes because he felt really sorry for, Tsuki. And yeah, anywho, now Tsuki was about to leave. Naruto, well, she was actually leaving at this moment, and Naruto really wanted to stop Tsuki from leaving. He's like, no, no. And as he says that, he just stops in his footsteps, and he's like, wait, what? Not footsteps, in his place, and he's like, wait, why am I not speaking? And as he says that, of course, Tsuki then actually leaves, saying, sorry, Naruto, I really was a burden to you. I'm really sorry. And Naruto's like, no, it's not true. Don't leave. No. And, of course, that's all in his mind. And then Tsuki, then actually leaves because, of course, she doesn't want to burden Naruto forever. And, yeah, now, of course, she's left. And Naruto was pissed off that she left because he couldn't do anything, to stop her. He just, just looked while she left. And yeah, anywho, now Naruto Naruto curses himself and just stands there for the next 10 minutes and then basically realizes that he should stop her. But, of course, once he actually arrived to the forest where she actually, left off, she wasn't there anymore. And Naruto returns to the field that he was in. And, yeah, just breaks down, realizing that he lost the only friend that he probably had. The only person he truly, loved outside, the toads and, his father. But still. Anywho, now Naruto, of course, being bummed out, he actually decides to train even harder to actually help her cause. Actually, destroying the Akatsuki. I was about to say deleting, but yeah, destroying the Akatsuki was, Tsuki's goal, and now it has turned into Naruto's goal too. And especially because, Naruto knows that the only way he can actually come to find Tsuki is through, the Akatsuki, because Tsuki is after them. And of course, now, Tsuki, is searching for Akatsuki, and Naruto knows that the only way he can actually find her is by actually going after Akatsuki himself, because you already know Naruto. Yeah, I mean, you already know Tsuki's after Akatsuki, so Naruto's like, yeah, I gotta find Akatsuki. Once I find them, I'll find Tsuki through them, since she's after them. And yeah, anywho, now after a bit, Naruto, of course, just spends the next few months, 6 months to be exact, just training himself up, his body, and of course he gets much stronger in these 6 months. And yeah, of course, now Naruto, after being much stronger here, after the 6 months, well, a few years training, of course, it's different this time. Naruto won't just escape the Akatsuki. He will actually, fight them off and beat them. Of course, his true intent to actually, find the Akatsuki is just because he wants to, find where Tsuki is. But yeah, 6 months have passed, and of course, Naruto actually keeps traveling because, his only goal isn't just, well, his only goal is to find Tsuki, but still, he still wants to, travel. He still wants to learn things, or learn about the world and everything. And yeah, after this, now Naruto, of course, Naruto, training for a bit. Well, no, sorry, Naruto actually trained for a bit and then actually left to actually go find Tsuki. Naruto has trained for a full 6 months now, and yeah, he's gone to find Tsuki because he wants to, know where she went and tell her that he loved her, and he didn't want her to leave. It was just him being too scared to tell her about, his true feelings. And yeah, Naruto, of course, actually goes off on his own, and he thinks maybe she actually returned to the Leaf Village, because why not? Like, there is no reason not to return to the Leaf Village. After all, there she could actually find comrades. And so Naruto returns to the Leaf Village and sees that it's all good. Everything is just as he saw, a few a few years back. Naruto, I'm pretty sure he was like 6 when he came, so around like 6 years ago. It's just the same. Maybe a few people became taller that he saw back in the days, like Shikamaru and Choji. He actually bumped into them, but of course, they were like, Naruto, and Naruto's like, wait, what? And just saying, the only reason they actually knew about Naruto is because Menma told, his friends about having a brother called Naruto. He has whiskers and, blonde hair, blue eyes. And they actually did meet Naruto back in the days because, Naruto actually bumped into them once they were actually, outside, and Naruto was just looking at the village, and then he actually left. But still, he did, meet them. And yeah, after that, of course, Naruto was like, oh, it's you two. Was it Shikamaru and Choji? And yeah, you came back after all. And basically Naruto's like, yeah, kinda, I don't know, but I'm going to leave soon. I'm just here to see something. And basically, of course, Naruto goes to the Hokage straight away and asks if Tsuki Uchiha has returned to the Leaf Village. And yes, Tsuki has told Naruto about her Uchiha heritage. And basically, the Hokage is like, may I know why, Naruto? And Naruto's like, just tell me before I leave. I gotta go anyway. And as he says that, the Hokage says, no, Tsuki Uchiha hasn't been in the village for a few years now. And basically, then Naruto then says, okay, I'll be leaving now, and of course that's where I'm gonna end it off. Yeah, there will be a few plot twists here, but not plot twists, but different things here. But it is what it is. You see what I did with the character of Suki? Much different, much more different from the usual. But yeah, anywho, hope you all enjoyed it. This was the King of Weebs. Yeah, don't forget to get your merch from Beautiful Halo. Link in the description below. 5% off on your next $49 plus order if you use code MEME, M-I-M-E, and if you use the same code on, and you, of course, if you want 10% off, and that's only if you order over $99 plus, you can get 10% off with the code MEME. Link in the description. Use my link so you can support the channel while, you know, you're buying your favorite anime merch. But still, anywho, I hope you'll enjoyed it. Like I said multiple times, don't forget to subscribe to Ratreet, Kazama, and Miniman123, and support my friend Hxmesh on his YouTube channel. And yeah, don't forget to stay safe, guys. And yeah, follow Shokran on Instagram, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and if you want to join the Discord server, link in the description below. Yeah, I'm just saying, we have a lot of fun there. I'm not really active, and don't forget to join it. Links are in the description below. Anywho, if you're here, the hashtag today will be Super Saiyan 3. Hashtag Super Saiyan 3. If you came up to here, you can just type that. Anywho, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.